All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is officially time to dial in because today is one of the most important days around crypto, around finance, because it is the FOMC decision, which is obviously one of the biggest decisions around finance that we definitely focus on because it does have, almost immediate market condition changing effects. So we're going to be talking about it. We're going to be addressing it. So welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. And also for those that are in the Discord, I am going to be pushing some free charts today to really kind of address what's happening in real time and really kind of give you guys some guidance on where I foresee the market going after, of course, the FOMC decision. Now, as we do really kind of look at the market, it has been pretty stable for the most part over the last couple of weeks. I know that we've had some substantial gains in the space, especially on the 60-day. I mean, listen, if we look at the 60-day gains here, I mean, you could see HBAR, XRP, XLM, Algorand, ADA, all of them, pushing major gains. So right now we're kind of starting to see a cool off, and it's still happening. I know that everyone wants this to, be immediately over and all of a sudden, boom, just up only for months. But these things do take time. Even right now, as we really look at Bitcoin on the 1 month is up about 15%. Nothing too crazy, right? It was chopping like sideways from like the end of November all the way up until just like a little spike on December 5th or so. Until, just recently when we had that nice move to 108K. Now we did miss 110K, which was the target that I was actually looking forward to seeing, but it's all good. Listen, these are just targets that we really kind of look for, and we're mainly focusing on a range. So a $2,000 miss on a range is not too bad at all. It was actually more like $1,800, so not too bad when it comes to Bitcoin. But outside of that, XRP, XLM, HBAR, and even ADA, you could see a very, very interesting pattern here. And what is that? Well, they have that nice run up all the way through November into December. And now it's just boring. It's just very boring, going sideways. We're seeing, some nice lows being ran, a nice little spike to the upside, at least when it comes to XRP. And if you really want to look at this, right, you could see it on the candle sticks and the candle bodies. Right, we could see that nice spike back in the beginning of the month and just kind of chopping now. And this is the same when it comes to XLM as well. I mean, all these altcoins look very similar. And you might be saying, well, Nick, what does this mean? Why are they so boring? Why aren't we seeing any, major moves right now? Like, what's going on? They're consolidating. We are seeing consolidation across the board for a lot of altcoins. And I also do think that a lot of the cool down period from the beginning of this month to now has been in anticipation of what the Fed is going to do next. Remember, like I said, it has immediate market condition changing effects on the market, because when Jerome Powell talks, people listen and they impulsively make decisions. It's the same thing with, any major updates around finance or, major headlines. Right now, if you actually go and look at the overall financial events happening this week, but today mainly, we have the FOMC interest rate decision at 2 p.m., and this is in Eastern Standard Time Zone. 2:30 p.m., Fed Chair Jerome Powell press conference. That's going to be the big one to really kind of listen in. Again, when he talks, people listen. Thursday, of course, we have the initial jobless claims, GDP, Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Survey, existing home sales, U.S. leading economic indicators, and then on Friday we have some pretty substantial updates. I mean, listen, we get some personal income, breakdowns, personal spending, PCE index, PCE year over year, then the core PCE, and then also, of course, the year over year, and then consumer sentiment. So again, we have a pretty big week ahead of ourselves, even though we're in the middle of the week. All right. And then, of course, by the end of the year, we do get some other substantial updates, but nothing too crazy like what we're seeing today. This is basically the last major, in my opinion, financial week to really kind of be, dialed in, listening up, and paying attention to what's being said from Jerome Powell, even after the interest rate decision. Whether or not they cut, pause, hike, it doesn't matter, right? We want to hear what Jerome Powell is saying, even if we don't really care about what the Fed is telling us, because 99% of the time it's all, just fabricated lies, just like how they've been saying, hey, CPI data is showing us that inflation is down, inflation is down, inflation is down, even though recently we've been noticing that inflation is actually back and it is showing signs of accelerating. But a lot of people are expecting a rate cut. We actually have over here from Matthew Highland, we have, after the last 2 rate cuts, the total crypto market cap moved up, FOMC tomorrow. And if we actually look at this chart, right, these are the last, 2 major rate cuts. Every single time, yes, it did lead to a expansion to the upside. And even if we go back to like September, October, it did take a little bit of time. It was still kind of boring. Nobody cared about, crypto too much. Altcoins were getting slaughtered still. So everyone was bearish on altcoins leading into November. And then, of course, in November, we did get the rate cut decision. And we saw markets, they just heated up again, right? So if we're really thinking about what's going on here, I do think everyone should pay attention to what the Fed does today, because it does, like I said, have immediate effects on the market. Now, what are the chances that the Fed will cut, rates? Well, if we go over here, we have from the FOMC, Polymarket users predict a 95% chance that the Fed will cut rates by 25 basis points on December 18th. Now, again, this is just betting. We are seeing a lot of people betting on, what the Fed is going to do. Even over here, we have from Walter, looks like everyone's betting on a rate cut from the Fed in December. Goldman Sachs, we have revised our forecast for 2025 to eliminate a cut in January. We continue to expect cuts in March, June, and September next year, and now expect a slightly higher terminal rate of 3.5 to 3.75%. And if we actually look at the forecast, again, here you guys can see it, cut by 25 BPS. 95%. Then also over here, we have the Polymarket betting stage, if you will, for this. So again, it's definitely interesting. Now, again, if they cut rates, I am expecting a very big move to the upside. If we go and look at the total right now, this is what the total chart looks like on the daily. We have been riding this overall trend for a while. I would like for us to actually maintain this trend. If we do retest the lows down here, it would be around roughly like 3.45 to about roughly like 3.5 trillion. If we lose this, then I am expecting us to retest the range around the all-time high from 2021, which is right around like almost 3 trillion to about 3.14 trillion. That is not a bad range to retest. And, again, it would show us that we're still kind of holding a floor down there. It's not too bad. And I just feel like if we're really looking at this from a zoomed out perspective, a nice little cool off wouldn't be a bad idea. But I personally would like to see the trend hold and us just continue higher. I don't want to see us, continue lower. I don't want to see us, have a massive liquidation event again. Even if we look at Bitcoin right now, Bitcoin just filled this like very shallow fair value gap on the daily. I know that's not that significant, but it is a fair value gap that we were looking forward to seeing retest it. And that was around roughly like 102.6 to about 103 point almost 4K. And we did wick down to it. So we're kind of filling that gap already. And right now, this is what this chart looks like currently. I would like for us, if we do go lower on Bitcoin, just like the total, let's maintain this trend line. That would be around, if we're going to see it today, for an example, 98.9K, almost 99K exact. Tomorrow, roughly 99 point almost 4K. The next day, again, you can kind of see these levels going up. It's about 99 point almost 7K and so forth. So again, just maintaining this trend line would be the focus from my point of view. Same with the total. And, the only thing that I really have a concern about when it comes to XRP, XLM, HBAR, ADA, or any altcoins is what Bitcoin dominance has been doing, which is, having this nice large move to the upside. It just hit about roughly 58.24%, which is not a good sign. And the big thing that I have been addressing even in the Discord is that we have these nice lows down here, followed by these lows, which is a higher low scenario. And we had this high here, and now we actually have a higher high, which means that the structure on Bitcoin dominance, at least on the lower time frames right now, is actually very bullish. So we want to see a loss of the midline at 57%. We want to lose this level and take out this previous low. We actually want to watch a bearish structure form on Bitcoin dominance for altcoins to really become the stars of the show. That would essentially be the key level, losing 56.10%. That would be taking out this low, creating a lower low. And from that point on, I want to see lower highs and lower lows, at least for a while, until we get back down to like 40% or so. I have this range down here that I'm actually kind of focused on when it comes to Bitcoin dominance, and that is around 43.51% to about 47.34%. By that time, we should technically be taking some profits off the board when it comes to altcoins, but I would like to see Bitcoin dominance break down while Bitcoin either one, retest these lows down on the trend line. This is also a major area of demand, by the way, as well. But if we do retest this, I would love for continuation to happen pretty quickly after. There's going to be a lot of liquidations today. There's going to be a massive amount of volatility as well. It happens every single time. It's basically the Super Bowl of finance when it comes to the FOMC meeting. So as we do really kind of prepare for that, the best way to make sure that you guys are not caught in this storm is don't be leverage trading, right? Don't be leverage trading. Don't try to, buy and sell and trade this, especially if you're not experienced. And also just have stablecoins on the sidelines in case we have a major cascading effect in the market. Just make sure that you guys are prepared for any major buy opportunities. Right now, as we really kind of look at XRP, as we look at XLM, as we look at HBAR, as we look at ADA, and majority of the altcoin market, we're still kind of just ranging sideways. We're still kind of consolidating. Even if we actually looked at the total 3, for an example, which is the altcoin market outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum, this thing is retesting this trend that I have been following for a bit of time. It is wicking slightly below it. It's okay if we do. I would like for us to maintain this on the daily, but I also have been looking at this on some higher time frames like the 3-day. And even if we do get rid of this trend line, just looking at this thing, we did retest this low demand zone right around like roughly 930 billion to almost 1 trillion. We retest this perfectly, and now we're just kind of chopping sideways in almost a bull flag formation. It's not exactly the best bull flag formation, but I would like for us to actually have a solid impulsive move above this 1.13 trillion level. And for those that are, questioning why that is the big level, that's the all-time high from 2021. That's why right now altcoins are taking a back seat. That's why altcoins are kind of boring right now. It's because they already hit such a substantial level. Even though we wicked to a new all-time high technically on this chart, we have yet to actually get a strong close over that major all-time high. And I want to share with you guys this because if we look at Bitcoin, and I just want to zoom out real quick on the 1 week just to kind of show you guys why this is significant. So the last time that Bitcoin actually did break over this, yes, we wicked above it. It wasn't a substantial close, anything like that, right? But once we did get a substantial move, right? This is one weekly candle. This is one weekly candle. I just want to stress that on Bitcoin. Bitcoin had roughly a 22% move initially, the next week, followed by a 39.59% move. And this total move on Bitcoin, mind you, Bitcoin, okay, was 62.39%. If we have a move above this level and we have a 62% move, okay, that would take us right into my DCA out of altcoins area. And for those that are wondering why that is my area up here, this is where I start to DCA out. I'm not going to sell everything in this range. We could go substantially higher, but this is about 1.75 to almost $2 trillion. By the time that we're in that range, altcoins should be substantially higher. We're talking some major gain opportunities out there, whether that be a 10x, 20x, 30x, 50x plus return on some altcoins that are outside of like the top 100, for an example. but those gains are going to be life-changing, so why not DCA out and take some profits? But I am expecting a very substantial move to the upside once we do finally get a break over that all-time high when it comes to altcoins. That's why altcoins right now are kind of taking the back seat while we do wait for the dust to settle after this FOMC meeting and after we see Bitcoin finally decide what it wants to do. Right now, I would bet on us actually having a cool off in the market initially first, until about roughly the beginning of January. So right now, no need to stress, no need to worry. Spend some time with the fam, spend some time with the friends, especially with the holidays being here. So just kind of take a little bit of a break from the charts. Don't worry too much about price action, because when you get back from the holiday season, I'm sure that the price action is going to look a lot better than what it has been looking like over the last couple of days, simply because we have been cooling off. We've been chopping sideways, consolidating, waiting for the much larger move. But in my opinion, as we do really kind of look at this, is the Fed about to pump this market to new all-time highs and, to really kind of push risk on assets even higher? I do believe that they will. It just makes sense, especially from a zoomed out point of view when it comes to debt and debt payments. I think that the rate cuts are, helping them a lot when it comes to interest payments. So I do think that it would be in their best interest, but they definitely are working with a ticking time bomb when it comes to CPI and the overall financial landscape. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on it because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.